Here's the Week 10 in review. In the Barons Bowl, three-time world champion almost outscores Suns Out Guns Out by 100 points. JB now leads this series 3-1. It was a playoff clinching victory as JB improves to 8-2. And Suns Out Guns Out falls to 3-7 and is on the verge of being eliminated from the championship playoffs. In a crucial battle for the second first round bye, hashtag Tony Romo's dad van gets a much important win to improve to 7-3, defeating the Ting Curtin, who falls to 6-4, whose record Eric still leads this series 6-4. There you go, perfect, right? Uh, well, both chances for playoffs are still very well, actually pretty much clinched, but it just helped this game to get a tiebreaker for the first round bye. Ambulance Bay gets a much needed boost, burying Glorious Domination by just a fraction. Ambulance Bay is still now 5-5. Glorious Domination is somewhat in unfamiliar territory at 3-7. Yeah, thought we never see that. Katie leads this series 4-3. More importantly, this puts Katie in the 6th spot and keeps her playoff hopes alive and well, while Travis is now pretty much at that 7 mark, so below 500. We may not see Travis in the playoffs again this season. An extra point by Mike Nugent on Monday Night Football gave the Dingo AJ Cutler an official victory over Come At Me Bro, ending that miraculous 3-game winning streak. The Dingo AJ Cutler is now 6-4. Come At Me Bro is now 4-6. Still, surprisingly, still in the playoff hunt, while Sam J is well in control of theirs at this point. Thank you, Sam, for doing what 3 others couldn't do and finally beating Andy to bring him down because his name's Come At Me Bro. Sam J leads the series 7-2. The team in the North, more like the team we don't know. Are you the Lions? Are you the Vikings or Packers? We don't know. You're a team in the North for sure. But you do get a win against Motive Urine, which wasn't that hard, let's be honest. It's one of those must wins. You now lead the series 3-2. But you're now 6-4 and you're in control of your playoff destiny, but I just don't trust it as much. Whereas John is now 4-6 and teeters on the verge of not making the playoffs. We may see John and Travis fight for a dumper. Fingers crossed. Well, looks like Bob won't be having to change diapers because that should have been the bet. Dirty diapers for a week. The Ants defeats Google Bills to keep pushing Google Bills back. Remember when she was like 4-0, 4-1, and she was the talk of the town because she had like the most points scored. Now it's 4-6. Bob is still in the hunt there at 4-6 too, so he's catching up. He's keeping himself up in the race, but definitely still backs against the wall for both of them, for the Harvey family, into making it into what the Stanzik and the Barons can do, and that is make it a family affair in the championship bracket. Bob leads the series 2-0. Here are your playoff implications. For the third in a row, I have officially clinched the playoffs, and now it's just a matter of fighting for that first round bye to finish in the top 4. And we all know how dangerous I am in the playoffs with a 12-1 record. I am Mr. Playoff Mania. So Kyle can clinch one of 2 ways. One, he wins outright against the playoffs, or if he loses, Dana, Bob, John, and Andy all have to lose, which is possible. So, Kyle, while you still control your destiny, there's a good possibility that 4 other people could help you out along the way. There's a possibility of 4 clinching the playoffs. That's right, Eric, Karen, Sam J can all get in this week if they respectively win and Dana, Bob, John, and Andy lose. So we could have Kyle, Eric, Karen, Sam J all join me into the playoffs, or in the very vice versa there. But you control your own destiny, but you do need a little help at this point. On the flip side, Travis and Sam B can clinch the consolation bracket with a loss and a Katie win. Because with Katie at 5-5, if she gets a loss, there's still a possibility, even with them losing, that Katie could finish 5-8, and they finished 5-8. If everything else plays out, Travis and Sam B could still sneak into the playoffs. I highly doubt it'll happen, but theoretically, there is a path still there. Let's review our playoff odds. Well, here we go, folks. The updated odds as I calculated them in. JB is 100% because obviously I've clinched the playoffs. Kyle, give a 99.24%, so mine's just put a star next to you. Eric, you're 93.6%. Sam J, 92.24%. So you're the four that are probably going to be in for sure. Dana comes in at 73.68, Katie 62.48, and Carol 58.12. So you three are theoretically fighting out for the last two positions into the playoffs, barring an epic collapse by Kyle, Eric, and Sam J. And I mean a really epic collapse, like 2003 NLCS Game 6 kind of collapse. Andy then now comes in at a 6.64. John comes in at a 4.36, so their odds are far-fetched. Travis is a 0.24, Sam B at a 0.4, so we could theoretically put, zeros next to them, but, somehow, if you do all the work, somehow they still have a chance. Bob, I'm sorry, unfortunately, you just have no chance. No chance in hell of making the playoffs this year. Good luck fighting for the dumper. Let's take a look at those draft pick positioning. Currently, of the five that are still alive, Kyle and Sam J have no strikes, so they're in the best position of getting the 1 and 2. JB, Eric, and Sam B all have one strike while still in. Still need a lot of help to get into the top two, but right now it is a battle for the top three. Go Bears. That's all I gotta say. Alright, here's who's all been officially eliminated. Picking 6 will be Bob, picking 7th will be Kara, 8th will be John, 9th Katie, 10th Dana, 11th Travis, and Andy. You will get whoever else is left. So there you go. There's the picks of where everyone is going to pick their draft picks next year. Here's the Week 11 preview. The Dingo HA color, fresh off ending Andy's win streak, looking to cool off another competitor, taking on three-time world champion Sam J. While they're in control, want to definitely get this win to keep control of their playoff destiny. JB leads this series 7-1. Ambulance Bay has a tough task ahead, taking on Tony Romo's dad van. Katie leads this series 7-1. Katie can do herself a couple favors here. One, she can keep her playoff hopes alive by getting the win, proving the 6-5 and bringing down Kyle to 7-4, and helping her husband, which no one really wants to do, but I guess if you have to, by putting himself back into position to get that critical first round bye. So good luck, Katie. I know how much it must suck living with a whimpering Eric. Moat of Urine, looking to keep the very, very, very 4% slim playoff hopes alive while slamming the door on Sunzel Gunzel playoff hopes at 0.04. This is really nothing more than positioning in the Constellation Championship. Every win here counts on getting up to the 7th and 8th spot because that's what's critical right now. You just don't want to fight in that first round to actually potentially go to that. So, Dumper Bowl. So, Sam B leads the series 2-1. Will Google Bills ever right the ship? And can they actually start kicking into high gear to get into back into the championship playoffs? Will Team in the North finally determine who they truly are? Are they going to be able to come together to take what's rightfully theirs in the playoff? I highly doubt it. This will be kind of a bummer bowl. I'm going to call it a bummer bowl for no other reason, just because I just thought of calling it the bummer bowl. But it's must win for position for each of these. Every game from here on out is must win, but I'm going to say it again and again. This series is tied at 1 apiece. Glorious Domination looks to put the losing streak at 2 for Come At Me Bro and bring down Andy into where he belongs, into the Andy Coppins Dumper Bowl. uh, which would be great because that's what we need. That's what makes this league good, is when Andy's fighting for the Dumper Bowl. We don't need Travis and John in there. Travis leads the series 9-1, so it's pretty good that they should be able to finish the job. Can the Ants keep it alive? Can they keep fighting to climb their way out of the cellar and back into the championship playoffs? You just don't know, but you get a good matchup with the Tin Curtain because he does have no faith in his team, and why would you? I mean, year after year, we've seen how poorly he drafts. So it's a big game for you, Bob and Eric. You need to get this because if Kyle beats your wife, it looks like you'll be having to fight your way through the playoffs. Here is your fantasy profile. This week it's Eric, who's fourth, currently seventh overall. He's got a regular season record of 58, 46, and 1, or 558 average. Playoffs, he's 500 at 7-7, and overall 65, 53, and 1. Tie coming to Chris Morrow in the very first season when we could have done ties at a point with an overall record of .551. Eric is 3 wins away for most wins all time in the league, which is a good accomplishment. Right now, Travis leads that. So, theoretically, if you think about it, this year you could get the tie if Travis goes 0-3 and Eric finishes the year at 3-0. Average finish is something Eric has always been harping on. He kind of wants to keep up in the top. As you can see, he is in kind of the upper middle. Sam B is number 1 with an average finish of 3, followed by Travis, .43, where Eric wants to be his echelon there. Kara at 5. John and Eric are both tied at 5.3, so it's critical that Eric gets into this and gets at least a top 4 finish to keep creeping on Eric Travis, because Travis will probably finish in the bottom 7, so that should drop him significantly. So good luck, Eric, and you're moving up. Let's talk about some of Eric's near misses. This list goes long. In the 09 championship against me, he had to play a bunch of replacements. I'm sure we've heard this story 1,000 times. In 2011, he lost by .06. That's 6 yards if you think about it, in the semis to Troy. He would have gone on to finish second place. Troy did go on to win that year. In 2012, he lost the consolation to JB. Well, it's nothing big. It's still just a loss to JB. In 2014, Jordy dropped a critical pass in Buffalo, which would have given him a win against me, and then that would have then in turn led him to go on to win the championship. So if you ever talk to Eric, that's his most disappointing one, is that Jordy drop, because he had the championship. Last year, if Andy beat Kyle in the final game, Eric gets in as the 6th seed. He would have gone on to finish second, but Andy, as always, Dante Moncrief, lost by .13 to Kyle.